A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for Realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach Realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon. Wow. Be on time every day. Every day, show up for yourself. I show up for you all, because who else am I here to show up for? I show up for you. So I've been showing up for veterans, homeless veterans, for over 22 consecutive years, and still showing up for them every single day, simply because, oh God, nobody else is showing up for them. Nobody, because everybody claims they don't know what to do. My realtor colleagues, they're not saying anything that's not truthful, because if they knew how to house homeless veterans, they would be doing it. You want to know why? Because it's a commission. I got a text message today to tell me that we mailed the commission. We mailed the commission. My license is with Real People Realty. I sit right in this chair and house a veteran family that had lost their home. Well, they sold it before they lost it. The mother, who was a senior of age, and the daughter was in the Navy, and so was her best friend. So they went to live with the mom to help the mom, but it was just too late. It was just for them, it was too late. And I didn't know anything about it until the house was sold, and now they have to hurry up and move. As a realtor, how do you work with that? And then they said, oh, and by the way, my credit is 460. I had to take a sip on that one. Now, when I first started this, I said I got a text message where the owner said that the check is in the mail to my real estate company where I work, where my license is hanging. That's a commission check that he mentioned for housing an at risk of being homeless Navy veteran family. With the 400 whatever, nothing's good about a 400 credit score. So as a realtor, that's what I do all day, every day, is simplify complex housing issues. And that's just combining the right pieces to every situation. So my name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate, realtor, consultant, and professional services in the government contracting space. My knowledge and information go really, really deep in this homeless veterans community. Really, really deep. Thanks for the hearts over here on TikTok. Part of my research, because everybody who we're going to talk about today, they are in where I keep all of my research, right? So they receive an intake. They have to email me, what's going on with you? What's your name, your email address, your phone number, your city and state, Are you service connected disabled veteran? If you are, what's your disability rating? If not, oh, don't worry about it. We've got somebody we can refer you to. And if you're homeless, that referral, he does it for free. Huh. Because you're a homeless veteran. And what else do I ask? Are you safe now? Do you need emergency care, emergency services? And just different questions like that. And then as we go along, and sometimes we don't even speak on the telephone. All of this is by email. And then I'll say, okay, let's come from over here from the DM from on TikTok or Facebook, and let's come over here to the phone and let's start texting each other. And here is an email that I need you to open up and read and follow those instructions. So from that, I'm able to, one moment, please. I didn't get my library. Oh, okay, let me grab my library of books. I do have a library that I wrote for this homeless veterans community, not just the homeless veterans community, but primarily for the homeless veterans community. So I was getting this book, Finding Home, right? So this is the second book I wrote in this series, U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Guidebook Series. So the young lady, all of them received this information, whatever information they need in order to go to the next level. And that next level is housing, acquiring whatever resources they need. So this set of resources here went to Hawaii, okay? Hawaii. And those resources were used by the homeless female Marine veteran who was in Hawaii and going to the agencies, the vet center, the hospital, and any other walk-in agency she could go to that service homeless veterans, and just to get turned right back around like the majority of us do. I did too, and that's why I'm still here serving in this community, to let all you all know that you can do the same thing I do. The same thing. And I've been doing this for 22 years. The reason you've never heard of me, you might heard of this story because you might have been here yesterday or the day before. You never heard of me. You've never heard of me? Well, you didn't have to, because I was already inside the VA. Everything that I talk about, everything that's in my books, I was already inside the VA for 22 years, 22 plus years inside the VA. And not just one, inside both of our major VAs here in Chicago, Jesse Brown and Hines, and at all the vet centers except for one. And these are photos and addresses of all the vet centers, right? And this is over here at the Jesse Brown VA. So you didn't have to hear about me. I never had to come public with any of this information, because for me, I already had a steady flow of veterans called consumers, a steady flow of homeless veterans and veterans who are looking to buy, because I also conducted a workshop at the VA and the vet center, city colleges, Cook County Corrections. I mean, just everywhere. It's all in the book. Everywhere you want to name. 22 years of informing and educating and housing the veteran community, from homeless to homeownership. So the way our veterans, our homeless veterans, are being treated is no different. It's no different. And somebody asked me, but how can you do this every single day? How can you stay motivated and encouraged to talk about this, to be in this? Because I never left. I never left. Oh, you guys can't see. That's me when I was in the military, and I came home in 2 years shy of me coming home. I became homeless and a married wife, married to an abusive, actively Marine serving husband. So now I'm running away from my safety, going to the VA, and there's nobody to help me. And that's the same thing that's happening today. We have resources in our veterans community. We have a ton of money in our homeless veterans community. 411. One moment, please. I keep saying I should keep everything up front, but when I'm finished working with it, I like to put it up. I don't like my desk a mess. So let me just go over some of the money that we have, and also how you can get involved in housing. Unhoused is what they call it. So fluffy, unhoused. They're homeless. There's nothing fluffy about being homeless. So how you can get involved in housing and caring for our homeless veterans community. So this year, this is the 2026 fiscal year. And this 2026 fiscal year, the Department of Veteran Affairs today, that was August 27th, announced more than $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. That's this money right here. 235 organizations received over $818 million. But that wasn't enough. No, that wasn't enough. So the Department of Veteran Affairs came back on September 23rd. On that Tuesday, it distributed $84 million in grants to an additional 176 organizations tackling veterans homelessness across the country. These are two different buckets of money, and that's just two different, okay? Then we have what's called the Section 8 voucher. What everybody here heard about Section 8. This is the housing choice voucher, and it's administered through HUD. And veterans who are homeless, they get to apply and go through this checklist. And if they qualify, then they receive this. This is some moving papers, another benefit, another resource for housing that pays the rent for this veteran to live in that apartment with the lease. So all of this money that's floating around in our community, and we still have a homeless veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia, with a 2-bedroom voucher since April of 2025. I'm in Chicago, and I've written letters to Congress, to the Senate, to the state, to the mayor. We received one active phone call back, and that was from Senator, I forgot his name, but it's right here in my book of congressional letters. Senator John J. McGuire, whose office staff had to do their own research. And I'm like, go right ahead and contact the Housing Authority in Charlottesville, Virginia, to ask what's going on. Oh, well, nothing. We're working with her. She has a case manager, and the case manager is working with her. And they have a list of housing that they can call. And this is the list of housing that they can call while they're living in a tent beside a closed Walgreens. So this is how our veterans are being treated, with funding benefits, with financial benefits. This is how our veterans are being treated. Now, I'm going to continue, and then I'll come back over and look at the questions. So now you tell me, let me grab my book, because I like to show and tell. I like to teach and train. So you're telling me I'm a realtor. I can house this veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia, and get a commission? Yes, because she has a 2-bed voucher. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I don't see the difficulty in that, but a lot of my realtor colleagues do, because they don't have the blueprint. I haven't shared the blueprint with them because I'm sharing it now in a book. But the blueprint is simple. You have a veteran with the voucher, go find an investor with the property and educate that investor on how this voucher is used and who's using this voucher, a veteran. And this is their benefits as being a veteran, a homeless veteran. But you know, I was on here live yesterday, and one of the Bonnie over on TikTok, she mentioned she's also a realtor, and she said she went to her office and they told her that, oh, that's breaking fair housing laws. Well, I'm here to tell you all that it's not. I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans as a realtor and did all the necessary paperwork and got a commission. You think my office is going to allow themselves, first of all, to get a violation for something I did, and I also get a violation? Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I'm also a real estate instructor. So this type of stuff, I know what to do. And that's what I teach realtors how to do, so that you all can stop saying we shouldn't have homeless veterans. And what is the government doing about it? They should be doing more. Well, you've got thousands of vouchers in the hands of homeless veterans right now. On my list just today in Charlottesville, Charlottesville, Virginia, New York City, Savannah, Georgia, Ohio, and Chicago. Well, Chicago already got him. He's already approved. All he has to do is say yes. And all I did was send one email. And that email went to my vetted. Let me show you another book. I have a whole library for everyone who say we shouldn't have homeless veterans. Oh, we shouldn't. What's the government doing? What are you doing? So this book right here is for social workers. I crack myself up. Social workers, case managers, human care professionals, and first responders. It's to help them help these veterans get off the street. It helps you in this book right here, the same book that I sent veterans resources to Hawaii and Las Vegas and Akron, Ohio, and Washington, D.C., and Charlotte, Virginia, and Las Vegas, Nevada, all over the country, to help veterans find the resources so that they can use to get housed. Now, how effective is this? Oh, the resources are on point. And then it stops right there. I'll get back to that in a moment. So this book is for social workers. Stop letting veterans walk out of your office homeless. I've trained social workers for years, because and he was part of it. He was a homeless veteran in a wheelchair in the U-Haul facility. This is in the book. You can read the story, and you can also go on the Main Street Realtors website to read the rest of it. So he was in a U-Haul facility for 11 months. 11 months with the voucher, with the 2-bedroom voucher. This is the letter from his social worker. And, you know, and just like Marjorie said, when this housing voucher for homeless veterans, this housing bill reopened, and all of these veterans started coming, and now all of a sudden, social workers have to become housing locators and realtors and negotiators. They're like, Yvette, I haven't rented anything, an apartment, a house, in 30 years. I've been in my home for 30 years. How do I do this? So I was at the Jesse Brown VA and Hines VA in groups teaching these social workers how to house homeless veterans effectively, what to look for when you're looking online, because again, realtors, I'm a realtor. Realtors don't house homeless veterans. I'm not going to say all, because if you do, bravo. Thank you, Jesus. You are part of the solution. But if you don't, then all you have to do is get the book and learn. Get the book and learn. I put knowledge from over 22 years in my library. This is my library, and it is on Amazon. So you can go on Amazon. I missed one. Finding Home. So this book, Finding Home, is for everybody. Everybody under my voice who can hear me say, if you ever said we shouldn't have homeless veterans, this is the book you need right here. This book clearly is for realtors because it says realtors right on the cover. This book clearly says social workers and case managers. So you can't go wrong with any of them, right? And then if you want to cross-reference any of them, then get the other one. This book clearly says the Guide to Veteran Shared Living Models. That's exactly what's in these books. What's exactly what's on the title. This book isn't released yet. And this book isn't released. This book right here clearly says veteran care entrepreneurship. This book is for those who have a license in, you're a nurse, you were a caregiver. This is for you to set up your licensed facility. Now, this book right here, this is the 3rd edition, Veterans Home Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. This book is the blueprint for these workshops that I conducted with my teams over the years, because as you know, teams come and they go, and some I got to get rid of and replace. So this book right here is to help you. You say you want to conduct veterans housing workshops. That's this book right here. Veterans, if you say, I want to use my VA benefits the right way, then this book is for you. I'm the writer and also the publisher of all the books I just showed you. And then I have 3 more books here that are not on my site to purchase yet. And one of them is the notarization book. I do notaries for the sick and the shut in. So I teach you how to do that and understand, and also figure out what's a notary, what do I need? Who do I need and what needs notarized? So let me come over here on TikTok and see somebody shared. Thank you very much. Somebody got badges, and I got a lot of gifts and likes and loves. Hey, Jacob, that's my brother in Ghana. Let me see. All right. Let me see. Somebody laughing at me. I don't know what I said. I'm trying to go to school. Oh, you're trying to go to school. That's a good thing. I did like school when I was going. I'm creating a master class now. So that's like I'm back in school. I've got to give it up to these instructors who have created master classes. And I'm not talking about some of these master classes just because some people learn how to use different platforms, and now they have a class online and they're charging $97. And so I went ahead, and even the ones that were $250, another one was like $249 or $299. And I'm like, okay, these are master classes. Let me go ahead and see what they're talking about. And I did research, before I finished writing this book. I started writing shared living models for veterans back in March of 2025. But this book was not released until September 2025 because I wanted to know, is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything in co-living and shared living and independent living? Is there anything that I'm missing? And only thing that I was missing is really that veterans touch, and also missing how can you join your veterans home model to a VA contract, or a contract with Department of Justice, or a contract with Department of Housing, or contracts like that, or local contracts to the city, to the VA, to other organizations that receive that 818 million, and then that additional, I got a restriction on YouTube TikTok for something. I don't know. But anyway, that's this right here. So let me go ahead and read. Okay, nothing over there. Let me come over on YouTube, and I will start from the top. Thank you all for being here. You could have came and left, but I'm glad you're still here. It's 454 people on YouTube. Thank you guys. Well, that's the YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't know how it's broken up. And this is a handful of you guys over here on TikTok. I appreciate everybody. Let me take a sip before I start reading. Oh, and I know this is new to a lot of people, but education, you got to read. Like, viewers, comments, show. Okay. Wow, 5,000 veterans housed. That's life-changing and impactful, and we need them. We need to continue. Thank you so much for that. How can everyday people support housing programs for veterans like this? By reading, by getting the education, by buying the books and reading them. It's that simple. So you ask for everyday people. Everyday people need Finding Home to support housing programs. Everyday people need this book. Now, if you had said social workers, then I would have pulled out the social worker book. How can realtors get trained to better assist homeless veterans? I am so glad you asked that question, Chris Hanna, by purchasing a realtor's blueprint and also the Veterans Buying for Real Estate Guide. These two right here. Thank you for asking that most powerful question. What's the most rewarding part of helping a veteran find their home? The most rewarding is helping them find their home and them getting into that home. That's the most rewarding. I've seen, and I tell people this all the time, you don't know how much you've done until you've seen a grown man cry. I mean, yeah, you see grown men cry on TV. And if you happen to have somebody in your family, grown man, to cry, but in my work, to see that, I mean, it's priceless. In my work, to see single moms and their children move into some place and they're calling out their bedrooms. That's my room. No, that's my room. And the mom says, well, let me see who's going to get what room. So those are really magical moments. And one of the families, the first young lady who I ever housed out of homelessness, female veteran, we're still in communication. And she tells me, Yvette, look what he's doing. Graduating with his engineering degree, in the military, doing excellent. So, and I got to house those two little boys, and now I get to see them as grown men. And the mom always says, you know who Miss Yvette is? Don't act like you don't know who she is. And she lets them know. So that's really one of the, just the highlight of what I do as a realtor in this community. So let me see. I did say I was going to talk about how I will house all of these homeless veterans, right? It's so easy. So Charlottesville, Virginia, 2-bedroom voucher. Find a landlord, low-hanging fruit, who doesn't require whatever, because you've got a lot of private landlords. And find one. He or she might even be a veteran who wants to house this population. Hold on, let me read over here on TikTok. Hello, I have a subdivision of 6 homes that I want to fill with vets. Which agency could I call? I'm the agency. Hold on. I'm the agency. So that sounds like a consultation. Yeah. It's a lot to do. So for Charlottesville, Virginia, she has a 2-bedroom voucher. Just find a friendly landlord. If I can find over 5,000 friendly landlords or doors that are owned by landlords, so can a realtor in Charlottesville. We have an owner over here, Jay Stacks, who has a subs division, and he has 6 new homes that he wants to fill with veterans. So go to my DM, and that's the consultation, and we will consult on that, and let's fill them up, because there's money for that. I just don't know where you are. And then for New York City, she has a 1-bedroom voucher with a therapy dog. 1 bedroom. All you need is a 1-bedroom apartment. So find a friendly landlord who has a 1-bedroom, who doesn't require all that you're talking about. They just want to house veterans and utilize the funding that the government is paying. You go and talk about, okay, and it's all in the book. I have this all in my congressional letter books. You go and talk about, all right, homeless veteran, come on over here. We have this real nice 2-bedroom apartment for you. You love it. You like it. Okay, good. All we have to do is run you through the mud. Run you through the mud. I'm not going to show what agency this is. This application right here runs, and then I'm not saying don't do an application. I would never, ever tell a realtor to do something illegally. I've been licensed since 1996. This is already 2025, 1996. How many years is that? Alexa, what's 2025 minus 1996? 29 years. I've been licensed for 29 years. And I'm also a licensed instructor. I would never tell a realtor to do something illegal. No, our goal is to move people. My goal for the past 22 plus years has been to move homeless veterans. And as long as you have people who understand that dynamic, then it can be done anywhere. Anywhere. I can have, as a realtor, you know, we can house people anywhere and receive a commission. It's called a co-op. So if there are any licensed agents in Charlottesville, Virginia, in New York City, in Savannah, Georgia, in Cleveland, Ohio, I've already gotten the gentleman in Chicago promised the unit. All he has to say is yes. So let's do that again. Charlottesville, Virginia, New York City, Savannah, Georgia, and Cleveland, Ohio. Now, Charlottesville, Virginia is easy because she has a 2-bedroom voucher, and that voucher pays the rent. And she also has an income, so she would be able to pay her own utilities. And in addition to that, we have organizations that will cover any security deposit you want. We've already been in contact with them. They've already paid yet another application fee. And for what? She's had her voucher since April. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October. And we're already in November. 8 months. She's had her voucher for 8 months, homeless, sleeping and living in a tent. A 72-year-old homeless female veteran and her caregiver with a 2-bedroom housing choice voucher. This is a benefit to veterans, our resources for veterans housing. This was a homeless bill that was reenacted by the federal government. And she's being denied housing Due to what? Due to what? Industry? Yeah, due to industry, because nobody knows how to, it's a lot of ways that you can bounce a basketball. And without getting with referees saying you're traveling, no, you can bounce that basketball through your legs or shoot, go come back, do all of that. That's how this is in housing homeless veterans. There is no straight angle, but this is a very clear way of doing it. You find a friendly landlord, like the gentleman here on TikTok, with 6 new homes that he wants to fill with veterans. You make sure you send me a DM. We have veterans with the voucher. We have veterans with SSVF funding, and we have veterans who want to buy, but they don't have the guidance. Where are the realtors guiding these veterans from homelessness, from living behind a dumpster, for real, living in the parks, in the city parks, living in tunnels? There's an organization, Tunnels to Towers, and I want to thank you all for paying they paid the credit check fees for a veteran couple. But again, why was this even needed? Because let me tell you something. In order for these veterans to use these benefits, including myself, I have a comp and pen tomorrow. I've got to go see a doctor tomorrow morning. We have to go through a lot of channels to even access our resources. We have to jump through hoops, go through the fire, the flood. We have to go through the anxiety, the stress, and the where we were when it happened again and again and again before we are approved for these benefits. So when a veteran is approved for a HUD-VASH voucher, that's the Section 8 voucher, the benefit resource that veterans can use to pay for their housing. They have to go through an intake at the VA. They're going to check them up and down and all around, mentally, financially, their background. They're checking for everything. Okay, now you pass round 1 because you're not approved fully yet. We're going to send this application, send this intake over to HUD now. So here's your paper now. I hope nothing else comes up. Okay, good. Nothing else came up after you went through the ringer and the fire with HUD. So now you're issued a voucher. This is your benefit so you can move and pay the rent somewhere. You're issued this. But you get on the street with this and you go talk to a realtor and say, hey, I've got a voucher. Oh, a voucher. Oh my God, I don't work with vouchers. I don't know how to work with vouchers. So I'm not the right realtor for you. This happens. I don't even know what a voucher is. How did you even get a voucher? It's the cooties. So now you tell them, oh, I got this voucher because I'm a homeless veteran. Homeless? Oh my God. I can't do anything with you. First of all, I don't know how to work with this. Second of all, you're homeless. And what is this anyway? You don't have anything to pay for rent. That's the lack of knowledge. And it's a whole lot of things thrown up in there. I used to go to the realtors community before I started just gathering my own. Hold on, let me get the book. Gathering my own vetted contacts, okay? And this is to teach social workers to do the same. I put some of my vetted contacts in this book so that they can see. And when you get the book, you can read it too. Michael Realty, over 4,000 units. base. I don't even know how many units they actually managed and owned. Thousands. They came into the Chicagoland area like a tsunami. Then you have Main Street with 400 units, AMG 900 units. So all of these apartments were, I'm not going to say accessible to me so that I can refer and house homeless veterans in their units and receive a commission doing it. So these are trusted and vetted partners in the community. Then I partnered with the city, different villages. This is Park Forest, in which, what did he say? Please accept this letter as evidence of introduction and support from the Village of Park Forest as it endeavors to coordinate an educational veterans housing program. Real estate broker Yvette Jones is a consultant working on this project on behalf of the Village of Park Forest. And this letter was written in 2015, okay? And this is 10 years later. So it goes all the way through to show you as a social worker case manager how you can gather your treasure chest of vetted professionals in the area. So when you do have a homeless veteran who sits at your desk and you're going through the intake and they do not qualify for HUD-VASH, now you have somebody in your book who you've met and who is trusted, who you can contact. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you all stopping by and staying. Housing homeless veterans, it doesn't have to be difficult. When you have investors who want to use their properties to house, and you have homeless veterans with the funding to get housed, what's the problem? Don't make it a problem. But you do. But now you don't have to. Just forgive me for being tucked away at the VA. Like, ooh, it was so cushy. I look forward to conducting workshops because after, during the workshop, after the workshop, all year long, I still have veterans reaching out to me and social workers reaching out to me because not only were there homeless veterans, but there were also veterans looking and wanting to buy. So I moved veterans from homeless literally to home ownership. I am doing so, hold on. I am doing so in Connecticut, and they don't respect veterans here, especially the Black ones. I already know. So, yeah, they don't respect none of them. They don't. But as an advocate, I don't allow that. So, what happens is I write congressional letters now, but as an advocate in housing, when I'm working with investors, and they tell me, help me, please go to my DM and let me know what you need. Are you a veteran, a homeless veteran? That's what I need to know, and where you're located. So yeah, just got to put your foot down. These investors, oh, I want to house them, but then they say, well, I need this and that and this and the firstborn. So they're not an investor who I would want to work with. And I have gotten rid of a lot of investors, and a lot of investors I did not even work with. And I told them, you're not a good fit for this veterans community. We have benefits. We have resources. And it's just unfortunate that all of these resources is tucked away. When I'm pulling up resources for veterans who they are in, even here in Chicago. Hold on. So for Hawaii, pulled up resources for Hawaii, right? She is in Hawaii and she didn't know about 90% of these resources. And I'll tell you why you don't know about these resources, because they don't advertise them. Let me go to some place where I can read the names, because in Hawaii, I just couldn't read the names. They were different. So here's some resources that I sent to Las Vegas. This was a single dad with a 2-year-old daughter. I believe he was, I forgot what branch. So of course the United States Department of Veteran Affairs, Southern Health, Nevada Healthcare, the Veterans Administration regional office, because you go to the regional office, you need to sit down with the representative at the DAV so you can apply for your disability. You got to put in some claims. Shields for Families, supportive services for veteran families. They do housing assistance, case management, financial assistance for veterans and their families. Shields for Families. Do they advertise on the side of a bus? Do they have a billboard to let everybody know we are here for homeless veterans? So come on through. We got you. So he received not only a QR code that he can scan, but also the phone number, the address, the website, and the email address. And another thing that I do as an advocate with the email address is email them a referral. My company, VetMentors, has 14 certifications. So my certifications with the federal government, the state, let's just stick with the federal, and also for veterans, because when I send over a referral letter, it has that my organization is SBA certified and VA verified. So my certificate, my recommendation is coming over as an organization just like yours, but I don't have your funding. So he was able to contact these organizations and get housed. And that's what this book teaches you how to do. Help a veteran anywhere. If you, let's say you are opening a veteran care home, you're opening a veteran care home, you're going to need this book so you'll know where these agencies are in your area. So all of these stack on together. It's not one book that's going to teach you everything you need to know. My brain in 22 years have done a lot of things in this homeless veterans community, and I put them in my library so that you can learn what I did for 22 plus years. So, and I'm not going to be on any more longer, but this one is for the community, everybody. This one is for those who are starting or want to start a veteran shared living model home. This is for realtors who want to house homeless veterans and get paid. Anybody asking you to do this for free? Nobody is. You have a CNA or RN or BSN, any of those, mental health, you want to open a home to use as a licensed care, then this one walks you through that. Then I have some more that are coming out. Oh, and also this one is for social workers, case managers, human care professionals. So go to my bio, you have my name there, go to Amazon and pick up some education. Pick up some education. But the way this industry and this society treat homeless veterans is deplorable. It's deplorable. Thank you for the hearts. And I hate it. Every time somebody says, thank you for your service, I'm like, only if you knew. Only if you knew. Those words just fall flat. When you say that to a veteran in need and you're thanking them, us, and we're still hurting. We helped you so much that would allow you to say thank you. So you acknowledge what we did. But you can't help us. You can't. That feels like, yes, that's exactly what it is. I always say it's a gut punch. That's how I feel. Every time I get a call, I get a message from a homeless veteran. And I'm like, okay, so who reached back out to you? Because I didn't get an email, or I got an email and this is what the email said. And I'm reading the email like, oh, here we go again. And it's just like I'm just been punched in the gut. You're telling me because this veteran, and this is a true story here in Chicago, he has because he had to do something, had a water bill that had reached too much for them to bear. He's the only one working in the house. There's a mom, and then you have, the children and a special needs son who has to be looked after. So what you gonna do? Where's the daycare for an almost grown special needs son who's big? You got to be home because who's going to pay for that? Where are the benefits for that? So now I sent referrals to various agencies, and one agency came back and said, oh, like they were so snooty and sadistic. I'm so serious. He received funding already from us 5 years ago. What? So I wrote some congressional letters. I'm not going to say demanding because I don't know how to do that yet, but the words were strong, respectful of our politicians who hold the office and who are supposed to be caring for our homeless veterans, for our constituents in their districts. So those are the ones who received the letter. And also all the agencies. And only one agency came back and said, oh, we done given him some money 5 years ago. You know, things happen in people's lives. And this is a veteran family who used to be homeless and now they're homeowners. And financial strain came about their home, and now they couldn't pay the water bill, but because they used one service 5 years ago. So in my recommendation is to include an emergency fund just for that, like a slush fund. You know, a lot of corporations, and I'm sure the government has that too. But these agencies are receiving millions of dollars. They could easily have a fund like that created. So in the meantime, your call to action is, because if you say you want to help in this homeless veterans community, then I urge you to go to my bio up here in TikTok, go to my bio over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and go to my library and read the titles, because they're really descriptions of the whole book. So you'll know exactly what it is you're getting by reading the titles of the book. And this is where you learn, because there's no way that I'm going to come on here and talk about everything in 22 years in my head. I'm not doing that. And this book is for veterans who are looking to buy, and agents, lenders. You want to do a workshop, then this is the guide for you. That's me on the back of all of my publications. I'm the writer, the compiler, and the publisher of all of the material. I take pride in what I do. Let me show y'all around my office, okay? Before we exit this place, let me expand the view here so that I can see. All right, so let's start from the bottom up. This is the cover of Women's World magazine for September 29th, 2025. And Gloria Estefan is on the cover. I remember her. And on page 52 is an article of me with a veteran who I housed, and he's also featured in this book right here. Okay. That's for housing him and his family. Oh my gosh. This right here is a proclamation that I received from the Senator Michael Hastings when Women's Veterans Day was put on the books, put in the records, put it that way. And I was one of the women veterans to receive that proclamation from the Senate. Over here is, oh, I can bring this down. Aha. This right here is the President's Award from Main Street Organization of Realtors for 2025. And it's for outstanding service and dedication and time generously given to Main Street Realtors. So I try to teach realtors, I try to tell realtors, but anywho, they got to learn, because we don't need these homeless veterans with benefits. Allow our veterans to use the benefits. This is an award from the Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs that was awarded to me 2025. Illinois Women Veteran Leaders of 2025 honors me, Yvette Jones Swanson, for your continued service and dedication to the Illinois veteran community. These are some 2025. And then this one is so heavy. Oh my goodness. This one back here, Omega Psi Phi Chi Lambda Chapter, dedication to me, women in excellence, for community service for 2025. And then I found another one. I just brought it upstairs. This one is 2023 from Chicago Veterans. I made the cover. And what else? And that's me up there as an 18 or 19-year-old Army military. I was active in the military. Then when I came home, thank you for the hearts. When I came home, it was hard because I was discharged with no benefits. So I became, broke. I was already broke going into the Army. I left to leave public housing so that I can get an education, so that I can retire in 20 years and buy a house and, just have something, because coming from public housing, we didn't have too much to look forward to, either the military or college, and who's going to pay for college. I saw my sisters, they all went to college and they had student loans, and all my brothers went to the military and they were buying houses. I'm like, I can get a college degree, and the military can pay for my college. So that's why I went to the military. It was cut short. I still got my college degree. I had a ton of student loans, but once I got my service connection disability, those student loans were wiped out. So I still thank my service in the military and my benefits. But I'm telling you all now, who is able and capable of housing veterans, you are not caring for veterans when you can stop a veteran from using this benefit to get housed. And this is a Section 8 voucher benefit. So I urge you to go to my bio and start looking around, start reading, and start getting some education to learn how to house homeless veterans, because this is not the platform for me to teach you how to do it. I'm going to tell you about it. Go get a book. Let me know you bought some of my library, and then I'll invite you to my private group where I'll be talking about some more things every other Friday. Well, next Saturday, not Friday. So I've got a wedding to go to next Friday. But anyway, in the group, you get to ask 3 questions based on one of the books, and we dive deep into answering that question. Because housing homeless veterans, people may think, oh, I'm just going to get a house and put them in the rooms. Well, you can probably do that. You can do that if you want to do that, but who are you helping but yourself? If you're not helping this veteran elevate and access those resources so that veteran can eventually buy a house or buy a 4-unit building, don't just have them laying up in your bed just because you're getting a check every month. That's not what veterans housing is. And that's not what my models teach you either. My models teach you how to help these veterans elevate. So if you're looking for a quick money grab, but you're going to make some money, but don't make it a quick money grab just so you can make some money for yourself and not help the veterans community. And if that's something you want to do, don't call me either, because I don't help people do that. Just like I don't work with slumlords. Oh, y'all should have seen some of the properties I've seen over the years. And you call me over here to see this and talking about a veteran can live here. Why don't you live here? Or do you live like this and it's okay? That's why you want to hand it to me on a silver platter. Thanks for watching. Let me see. Somebody is over here cursing. Somebody is cursing. Let me see. Jesse Garcia is heated. That bullshit scam to get state funds and direct that money to your own accounts. I don't know who's doing that. I don't even know what that scam is. So you're on something else, Jess Garcia, but thanks for stopping in. Help the algorithm. But a lot of this is, let me tell you something about that money, because Jess Garcia, you did bring something up. I had a conversation with one of the organizations. Hold on, let me bring it back up. The scam to get the state funds and direct that to people's own account. So this one organization said, I'm like, look, I'm ready to come back and start doing the veteran housing workshops. And these are the workshops, right? These are the workshops that I conduct within the community. So I said, I'm ready to come back. And he said, well, I'm glad you called, because I didn't have nothing else to do with that money. So we were just going to have a pizza party. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, you have to be on. You have to, first of all, know what these organizations are, who these organizations are, right? And then you have to know what these organizations have their money for. What is it allotted for? And then you go after that with the veteran in mind. They might have a veteran who they're serving, or you might know a veteran who needs those resources. And now you're referring that veteran over to that organization to acquire those resources to get housed. That's how this is supposed to work. But we do have a lot of gatekeepers, a lot of people who work in the office who just don't give a damn. They don't. I was talking to one veteran today, and hopefully he does take the offer to move to the senior care facility where he can still come and go. 3 meals a day. He gets all access to everything that I told you all over here about on TikTok. Everything. 3 meals a day. I just can't. I mean, it was a lot more. And that room, the studio, would have cost him $5,600 some dollars based on the care that the senior facility provides. But all he has to pay is like 90% of his check. So he'll have a little bit less than 90, maybe 80% of his check, and he keeps 20%. But think about it. Everything else is covered. He's not capable of going out working, so he'll just be home chilling in the facility, going downstairs. The place is beautiful. I moved a former homeless veteran over there. Hold on, let me get it. She's in the case study as well. So 75 years old, 3 tours of duty, 2 bronze medals, retired, 100% service connected, Social Security, and her retirement pay. But nobody could house her because she was a homeless veteran. But I housed her 2 times out of homelessness because the VA let her walk out the door. So in the second place where I housed her is gorgeous. And this is the place that's being offered to our senior veteran who is going through. He said, Yvette, it's just getting harder and harder. I said, I know. But, I'll let you know when somebody calls. And somebody emailed me right away and said, Yvette, we will be contacting him. So that really made my day. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. And if you really want to do something, go and get some education. Oh, I'll be on the TV. On the TV. I was interviewed, and that interview will be out regarding this book right here, Innovative Housing Solutions for Homeless Veterans. So I'll share that. I could share it, but I'm going to share it when it comes out. Thank y'all for watching. I'm about to end the stream, so I don't want people saying over here on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn and Facebook that I just hung up. Somebody told me that the other day. You just hung up. One moment, please. Okay. I'll see y'all Monday, God willing. God bless you. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.